What is going on, everybody? Bobby Fi and Eric Sheets-Haber are going to talk through this Wednesday baseball slate. It's a pretty good slate. I'm not playing a ton of lineups, so I'm going to be pretty condensed, and I haven't changed much since this morning. So I'm curious to see if anything has changed for you, maybe that you were doing that you're not doing, or anything's changed with your projections at all. One thing I did notice was that Boston's lineup, first of all, is not the strongest looking thing in the world, and they're cheap, so they're going to probably be higher owned than they're projected right now. But they're also there's pinch hit risks for probably 4 of these guys, legitimate pinch hit risks. So even if they are doing well, unless it's 10-0 right away, like it was last night, I think you're going to see some possible pinch hits. So with that said, Cheeks, what are you thinking about on this slate?
Yeah, I currently have 0 Boston. And I was expecting some variation like that. Their righties are not that great, and they're, like you said, I mean, you have pinch hit risk in there. And so that I don't really have Boston in pretty much any form of my build, especially on DraftKings. But I didn't run my sims yet, but when I'm just running my normal stuff, it's an overwhelming overweight to 3 teams, and that would be Texas, Atlanta, and Oakland. Actually, that's what I'd be getting right now. And as far as but I'm gonna probably tweak around that a little bit. I'll do that live if you want. So then pitching is Montas, just an overwhelming amount of Montas, and then Valdez, and then some all kinds of nonsense like Waka, Tobias Myers, Morton, Bassett, Pivetta. Really thought I was going to end up getting more Pivetta, but we'll see what happens when I kind of firm it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that right now, I'm sort of mostly using the pretty chalky-ish pitchers. I'm using Montas. I'm using Valdez. I think I have Valdez the most right now. My next is probably going to be Pivetta, and then some sort of mix of Bassett, Webb, and a little bit of that Graceffo. Now that it seems like he's not going to be quite as high owned as we thought he was going to be earlier. But I still haven't finished all of my pitching things yet, because I'm pretty decided on my stacks. I'm playing the Mets almost everywhere, and even if I don't have a full stack of them, the only Boston thing I have is I have a 1-4-4 with the Mets, and I have 1 3-man with the Mets. And I'm just going to stick to my take on the Mets. I also like the Dodgers and Phillies a little bit. Both sides of it, I think, are very playable, and I think that these are elite offenses in great hitting conditions, and Dodgers have just destroyed left-handed pitching this season. So that's what I'm doing. That's sort of where I've mostly wound up here, and I feel good about it. I think that Milwaukee, and especially Milwaukee, is interesting, but I didn't end up really getting there much in the interest of full transparency.
So to give you guys a sense of what I'm trying to do here. So, what I did was I uploaded projections, and then I ran 5,000 lineups, and these are the top 50, and I'm playing 50. And it's actually kind of interesting. I don't think that there are that many people. I mean, there are obviously a lot of people in the world, but I don't know how many people actually play this, my amount of lineups. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, people that play less than this or more than this. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting to see. I mean, what I would do with 150. I probably wouldn't have to make hard decisions, because let's see. If I rated these by 150, let's see how things would change. Now I'm still be getting all this Texas stuff. So how do you handle this, right? If you're going to use SaberSim, you want to rely on a little bit, and you don't really feel like playing 88% Texas across 50 lineups. I mean, the easy thing you could do is just manually just reduce it, and that's why you have these 5,000 lineups. It's going to be really easy, and it's not going to be a secret. I imagine where the ownership is going to then go to. Probably some more of Atlanta, maybe the Mets and Cincinnati will come there. Let's take a look just for the hell of it. Mm-hmm. So if we put max exposure 30% Texas, for example, then more Atlanta, Oakland. You still get Texas, and the Mets kind of creep up a little bit. Okay, so that's mm-hmm. that's what kind of is working in the wins. The other thing you could do, and people can go ahead and ask you slate specific questions. I'm just kind of going through this.
Sure.
if you mess around with the min uniques a little bit and like force in diversification, let's see what that does for you. Not a lot, right? As far as getting off of too much Texas. So if you don't want to play 85% Texas, you have to either force it out or take a shot with another type of build. Okay, meaning using the contest sims in some way. And as I mentioned before, and I'm going to keep pounding the way on this, and you have to decide what you want to use these tools for. Do you want to use it as a supplement to your own lineup building skills? Do you want to have it build lineups for you? You know, it really depends. Because if you wanted to build lineups for you, you could just kind of just say, okay, give me the 84% Texas and go. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to like use your own, I don't want to say common sense, but your own sense of how much you're supposed to have, then you could probably manually reduce it. All right. But let's see what happens when we try to apply the contest sims to this. And we have to make sure that we pick the right fields to compare to. So let's compare to what so the walk-off home run will say whatever high stakes MME would get to. Ball 4, since it's a 4 entry max, we'll make it 20 max. And then the bat flip, we'll use the flagship. And then so we'll run the contest sims. And what we're trying to do, and this is again, whether this is right or wrong, I'm trying to find a build that the Saber Sim tools support that also makes sense. You know, that's kind of what what I'm hoping for here is to get a lineup, a portfolio of lineups that does not have 88% of one team. Like, for example, without me having to tell it to not do that. Okay. Right. So let's see if we apply the contest sims, what that'll do. Now let's toggle away from the ball 4. I don't really care too much about this. Let's just look at the bat flip. So in the lottery here, okay, so this way, well, we're getting what we want, like not 70% anybody, but we're getting like some kind of weird stuff. Like we're getting Kansas City as the highest owned stack in the lottery. But I would rather something like this than what I had before with the 88% Texas. So again, I'm not saying that what you have to play, but these are different options. Like this is a perfectly well, calculated build, right? You might not agree with it or not, but this at least is based on normal numbers, and at least it plays like, a certain amount, a reasonable distribution of teams. The other thing I want to look at is the stack exposure and see what it looks like. So mostly 5-mans, but a couple of hoodoos in there. Now, keeping in mind that we already have Min Uniques 3, which is good. Keeping in mind the fact that we can late swap, I'm kind of inclined to fire this, and to go with this because again, it was based on kind of sound fundamentals in the first place, and it also looks like lineups I kind of want to play if that makes any sense. So that's what we're going to do with this, and we're going to put in. And again, I have no issues with showing these now because this is never going to be what's there at the end because of all the late swapping I'm going to have to do. Right. Not to mention maybe one more roll before lock. So let's save those, and then we'll do FanDuel. Are you playing FanDuel?
I'm not playing FanDuel today, but I looked. I'm aware of it.
Right.
I just didn't end up.
Well, it's funny. You didn't. Well, did you quite see? Okay, so we could let's see what a single entry looks like. Okay, let's go. We'll add a contest sim, and let's use high stakes single entry. Sure, high stakes single entry, and we'll just call it. We'll call it Ping for Pingalore. How about that? And it's going to be what's this going to be? Satellite to here, a single entry. Okay. Save. And let's just run for that. Okay, we'll run the Ping, and we'll see what we do here. And I'm interested to compare this to some of these others here. Oh, the Oakland Mets, I like that. The Oakland Mets stack. 1973-74. Let's see. Could be the 50th anniversary or something, right? All right, so let's see. Ping, sort by risk adjusted ROI, and this is what we would get. Like these are going to be all kind of good single entry type type things. We toggle away from it for a second, and then we'll toggle back to it just to see if it changes anything. I don't think it will. Yeah, so as far as a high stakes single entry, you'd be getting like Oakland, the Mets, Oakland and Texas, Oakland, Texas, Oakland, Oakland. So you'd pick from one of these. If you wanted to, right? Like rely on SaberSim to create these for you. All right, let's go to FanDuel. I'm only playing a couple. I'm not doing any MME, but let's see what it would look like to play MME here. So we already ran the lineups. Let's see what they look like. Let's say if we did 50 lineups in FanDuel, we'd be getting, again, same story, 75% Texas, 75% Atlanta if we did nothing about it. As far as pitching goes over there, we'd be getting, look, what's that, Montas? Yeah, like 60% Montas, then Morton actually next. So let's see if we can't screw around with it a little bit. So let's go to contest sim settings. Let's do the lottery. How about that? Flagship MME. Save settings, and then let's run this and see what we get.
So I'm just editing a few of my builds here. And let me see. Okay, so that should be the last one.
Oh, so I told you I played that WNBA stuff. I played like the 7 lineups and
how did it go?
And a couple of satellites. I didn't do anything in the MME, but I won a seat to the 333, which is happens in 2 days. And this is like the biggest set of torture. I shot the satellite, so I probably have to play it off or something.
Oh shoot! I hate when that happens.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
So I have to pay attention to my email and see what they see possibilities. I guess it has to be tomorrow if it's for a satellite for something that starts in 2 days. I guess I don't know how it works.
Yeah, that's
all right. So let's see.
I don't know either.
So when we apply the contest sims, it looks a little bit different, right? Now we'd be getting, instead of all that text in Atlanta, we'd be getting Oakland, Colorado, Miami. Because just take into account what it expects other people to play. So I would, again, even though I don't particularly like these teams, I prefer this type of build. This is okay. So this is the question people ask. Okay, Sheets, would you rather go with the Texas Atlanta stuff, but manually reduce the Atlanta Texas exposure, or go with this type of bill which distributes things better, but doesn't really have the teams that make a lot of sense? Okay,
right.
If those are my only choices, and for those that know me, I prefer to use the ones that don't make any sense. So I would rather go with something like this that I know has been calculated right, even though the stacks don't exactly represent who I would want, than me just manually reducing the ownership. But that's my opinion. I bet you like 80% of even better players than me would do the opposite. So I don't know. What else? Who's pitching for the Dodgers, by the way? Stone? The only thing I'd mention is Harper is out, so that probably helps him somewhat.
I don't think he's I think this is a really tough matchup for him.
Okay.
I like Philly and the Dodgers. If I was playing more lineups, I'd be getting to more of them. I just didn't play enough lineups really.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a lineup here. It's a tough lineup still for Philly, and I just have a feeling that game could definitely be the one that goes off, and want to get enough pieces of it.
So for those of you, again, that didn't hear earlier, we're going to go live at 11, and part of it is because we have an early start for the golf, early being late. Late for today, early for tomorrow.
Right.
2 a.m. Eastern time lock. So I'm not going to be up until 2 live, but I'll go from like 11 to like 12, 12:30 maybe, depending on how baseball looks. And at the very least, we'll definitely do a lineup build here.
Yeah. I'm gonna be a little bit late probably, but I'll come and hang out for a little bit.
Okay. Do we like Tobias Myers today?
So I didn't really get to him, to be honest with you. That's all I can say. I think he's totally fine. Take a shot. You sure? But I'm not like going out of my way to get him or not. I don't really love a lot of the pitching. I'm sticking mostly with the Valdez, Montas, Pivetta just because I don't feel great about the pitching. The only thing I hate about playing Pivetta is I actually like the lefties that are available from Oakland and they're super cheap, like Blade and Lawrence Butler. So I want to play those guys where I'm not playing Pivetta a bunch. Okay, and I'm just taking a quick look, see where I'm at. Yeah, I've got Mets guys everywhere.
So just so you know, I put two guys in the main event this year. I had two guys that were whatchamacallit.
Oh yeah,
that I put in the World Series. They lost, I think, a little bit in the prelims or whatever, or it's close. And they're both in the money. They just made the money.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
You mind if I ask who either of them are?
You've never heard of either of them, I promise you.
You want to make a big bet?
I'll make as much of a bet as you want.
I don't think you understand how much I pay attention to poker.
There's literally, you could just trust me.
Okay.
Okay.
I
Ready? Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Robert Nemiskari Kiss.
Don't know him.
That's one guy. And the other guy is Peter Kiehm, Kiehm.
This last name sounds familiar, but I don't know. You're right. Okay, I'll just give it to you. You're right.
This is their first time playing the World Series, by the way.
I mean, I've had the World Series on in the background for the last, all the day. So if they happen to be on the feature table, I would have gotten their name.
Oh, that could be. Yeah, these guys just play online. They live in Peter Robert. He's from the United States originally. And Peter, they moved to Vietnam to play online. They've been playing online for like 3 years from Vietnam.
Out of all the places to go, that's got to be one of the craziest ones, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's cheap for them.
Beautiful, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful.
And they, they're literally the last remnants of my staking people.
Oh my God!
Two really nice kids. Nice kids. The biggest cash I've had so far is Peter got like fourth in the in the Venetian seniors event for like 22,000 or something. Yeah, something like that.
God. That's crazy.
Yeah, he's over 40. So, and both these guys are like that. But that'd be nice because these guys are insanely honest and haven't stolen a dime, at least as far as I know, right? And definitely rooting for him. So I just got one update. Yeah. So at the break, 441,000, 1,250 people left. That's it. It's only 1,250.
That's it. That's nothing.
Yep.
Wait, so Peter is one and the other one is named what?
Robert. And then it's a hyphen. It's a Nemiskari Kiss.
Okay. Somebody just started following me named Nema.
No, nobody follows anybody. They don't have Twitter accounts. Literally zero chance anybody knows who they are. Unless they're, what they played live for me this year? They played like the APT Asian event in like where they pay off in like currency I've never heard of. They're like, oh, it's a $2 billion it's a $2 billion guarantee. Like, what does that mean? Like 12,000 for first. You know what I mean? Something like that. But there was live streams of these things, and like they're literally one of them was like Robert's literally the only American in any of these tournaments.
That's wild. Well, hopefully, man, get a nice little Joe Catto type run.
Well, if we get that, that's the good thing is the bad thing. They're both pretty tight, so I'm not surprised that they made the money. Although making the money is not easy, obviously, but so they'll do their thing. I don't know if they have a lot of winning upside, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, though. That's cool. I mean, there's plenty of guys though who are super tight who finish in the top 3 or 4. We see it every year.
I believe I would sign for the top 3 or 4.
The 3 or 4, yeah, you take it. Oh, it's cutting out.
The only guarantee to get third place money, by the way, is the World Series of Poker.
What do you mean?
That's what they get from the rake, third place money.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yep. Guaranteed third place money for the World Series of Poker. And they don't even have to suffer through any all-ins. It's crazy.
I know. It's an easy life. Yeah, I've been flirting with maybe it just takes up too much time. You know what I mean? I thought you were
gonna fire it there after. When's the last time you played?
The main?
Yeah.
Or like played. Remember during the bubble, I had
the main.
The main was probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, really? Since I've known you, you played it? Okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. I think I've played once since I've known you.
Okay.
My last 2 mains were just the worst thing. I mean, the one before that was the most brutal one ever. Like, I mean, it just was like getting 2 outed for, I think it was like 900 big blinds. It was literally that big of a pot. It was like 900 big blinds, and it was literally 10 off the money or something. It was me and the chip leader. I think I had like 900,000. No, it was more than that. Whatever it was, I had 380 or whatever. It was going to be close to 900 big blinds because it was a multi-way pot, but very frustrating.
Peter has only 97,000. He lost Jacks versus Ace 10 in for 360K last time before a break. No,
do they update you on every hand? I mean, on every.
No, it's just the breaks on the break.
Nice. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Speaking of staking, I'm going to get a little bit of your action today.
Sure, let's go. Yeah, all right. So if there's nothing else, I'll probably just go upstairs and check on the COVID patient.
Well, good luck. I hope Stacy's doing better, and have a good night, man. And yeah, I'm probably going to get out of here soon.
I'll see you guys at 11.
Oh, yeah.